I think where the Hizmet movement is different is where it brings it more personal. And it brings people into each other's homes and into each other's hearts in a way that will really transform people. It's a way of inviting more people in to let them know that this wasn't really just about, for me, that's the way I saw it. It stays inside of you. So then when you go out into the world and something happens, that's anchored inside you. That's My name is Reverend JoAnn Barrett. I am the founder and senior minister at Gathering of Light Interspiritual Fellowship here on Long Island, New York. I am also the co-chair of the Suffolk County Interfaith Anti-Bias Task Force for Long Island, New York. And also I am the president of the Council for the Council of Interfaith Communities USA. One of the activities that I do, or a few of them that I do on the island here, is about diversity of faith and bringing people of faith, different faith traditions together for different activities. Once a year, I have an event called Voices of Faith for Peace. We have a Thanksgiving interfaith service, and I've always been kind of pushing the mark a little bit, trying to get people to be more inclusive, because here used to be always Judeo-Christian they thought was interfaith. So I'm always saying, no, that's not enough, let's bring other people in. And when I wanted to reach out to start off all of these events with the Azan, it was the Turkish Cultural Center that came forward and helped me out, and then became this amazing presence at the events. I think it was amazing the way you started out with the Turkish Cultural Center, but knowing that it wasn't just about promoting the culture from Turkey. It was about humanity and humanity coming together, and then to call it Peace Islands, that was a brilliant move. And it was a way of inviting more people in to let them know that this wasn't really just about, for me, that's the way I saw it, it wasn't just about, let me teach you about the Turkish culture. Let us all exchange our own cultures with each other and help each other out in understanding that. The Hizmet movement has really been an inspiration to me in the way that they've been able to reach out to the community, to inspire dialogue and communication, but also to be a hand of help all around the community. I've been very inspired by it. The people from the Hizmet movement, I would say, are kind, considerate, generous, reliable. When Hurricane Sandy hit Long Island and we had devastation around, there was no question in my mind that there will be people from the Hizmet movement that would be organizing things. And sure enough, they were everywhere. And I was able to contact family members, different people from different organizations, to know that they could go there and count on some assistance from them. They were feeding people. They were right there out into this, right where they were needed the most. It was amazing. I think this is a way that showing that the Hizmet movement is helping to represent Islamic people, is showing everybody who the real Islamic people are. I think that we're not getting enough information out in the media about who really the Islamic people are, and what it truly means to be a Muslim. The Hizmet movement brings you right into people's homes, and you sit down and you have the conversation, and you see the struggles and the joys and the everydayness of just human life, and everybody, again, wanting those basic faith-based spiritual principles. Interfaith dialogue is a part of my life mission, and it's been something that I've been really passionate about for all my life, and it's the work that I do. So I am very much excited about any group that wants to involve in interfaith dialogue, because interfaith dialogue, once we can have the conversation, we can see more where we're the same rather than focusing on where we're different. And in that place of sameness and understanding, then we can celebrate those differences rather than be frightened by them. It's very important for the Muslim movement to get involved in interfaith dialogue, because, especially in the United States, because in the United States, the concept of interfaith can could be Catholic and Protestant, and people believe that's interfaith. So when the Muslim come into that, they can understand the broader perspective and understand that, yes, we're all talking the same place when we come to the core of our traditions. I think it's very important that people understand, especially the Muslim community, understand how important it is to dialogue and sit down with people of other faith traditions because of all the negative press that's out there. It is really important. I actually do get emails from people or calls from people that ask me, what's going on? Where are all the Islamic people? Why aren't they doing something? And the Hizmet movement is doing something every day. It was doing something before all of the catastrophes happened. It was out there knowing that. It was, Mr. Gulen was very, very much a visionary in his ideas and bringing it forward, because it was all in place to take care of things and to show what a true Muslim should be doing and how people should understand the way they are. I've never met Mr. Fethullah Gulen, but I've seen videos of him. I've actually read his book and been very inspired by his teachings and the way that he reaches out to everybody else, and the ideas that he incorporates, which is about inclusivity and about everybody understanding each other. He has a global insight about the whole world coming together. His overall vision is, I think, the vision that Prophet Muhammad wanted, peace be upon him, originally. This idea of all of us coming together as people of faith, because it's very faith-based, but a faith of that, do the right thing, what all the faith traditions are trying to teach. And I think that's what he really wants, us to really live what all of our faith traditions really tell us, to be a real good person. The similarities to the Hizmet movement and other Islamic movements is that there is an interest in the global affairs and helping out and assisting others. I think where the Hizmet movement is different is where it brings it more personal. And it brings people into each other's homes and into each other's hearts in a way that will really transform people. Community building is paramount in the globalized world today, because of the external differences, because of the different things that people do. It's more important to understand people from a heart perspective. And that only happens when you do things one-on-one together, or you go into each other's homes, or you sit down and have those moments that are easy, where you feel comfortable and at ease with each other. And that stays inside of you. So then when you go out into the world and something happens, that's anchored inside you, that's rooted inside you, so that you don't get toppled over by all this negative media or what somebody else is saying, and you can bring them back to the truth. I think it was a really brilliant move to enter into the education system on the Hizmet movement's part, because children are our future. And children are, unfortunately today, school could be a terrorizing place. But what I've seen in the Hizmet movement is that the schools were safe. They emphasized values as well as academia. And we're losing that a lot in the public school system, and bringing that out and making sure kids understand that and keep to those values. That's an important piece. Values cannot be taught from a book. It has to be in the the essence of the school itself. The school itself has to have the whole environment be a part of that, and the children then will pick that up. Because children, they do what you do, they don't do what you say. So you can give them all the math and science that you want, but unless you have those values of kindness and being a good person and doing the next right thing, and they see that around their environment, well, then that's when they're going to do it. It's important that the Hizmet Movement does charitable work all around the world for Muslims and non-Muslims as well, because that sends a message about that you really do care for humanity, for human beings, because that's the true essence, that's the true meaning. We're all brothers and sisters. It says it in the Quran. That we're all brothers and sisters of each other. If we're all brothers and sisters of each other, we need to take care of each other. So they are the living examples of that work when they do that.
The Hizmet Movement represents a stark alternative to the stereotypes that often circulate about Islam. Hizmet means service. And the individuals who are inspired by the teachings of Hoja Effendi, Fethullah Gulen, are dedicated to living a life of service.
Everything that I have learned, whether it was reading, the experiences of other people, it's everything positive. It just amazes me how others have not heard as much as they should from the movement itself, from Mr. Fethullah Gulen.